Jumping into some fan questions, sir. Let us know on Twitter. We tweeted out before we do the podcast. Got any questions for us? Hit us up on Twitter, or X as the kids call it these days. At D_Cole18. My team won the NBA championship and is set up to compete for years because our owners and GM built youth and defense. Then I look at United, which is a different sport, but the same concept should be successful. My God, what a joke this team has become. I don't think I've ever been less excited for a season. Wow. Rock bottom here from D_Cole. How are you feeling? Are you never been less excited for a season?
I'm excited because I want to wipe that nasty taste of last 2 seasons out of my mouth. And I'm just thinking, I'm hopeful that things will get better. I don't think they're going to be great. We're not going to be winning no championships, but I want to see some of these new dogs coming in. I'm excited about Cunha and Mbeumo. I think those are really, really interesting players. The selling, I think
it's not enough red meat. It's not even enough red meat.
But I'm just trying to be, hold on.
I'm just saying.
I'm not saying it is. We have so much
fans are speaking here.
Thing is, there are many things that INEOS are doing right, but they're also running out of time, right? It's like the Aiden Heavens, Cheeto Obi, Seko Kone, León. Those are the right type of transfers to do for the long term. Those are the players that will pay dividends in the future. It's just that I think Sir Jim is running out of time.
That's a side dish. That's a side dish.
No, but that's how you build a team for the future. Is you sign like the best players in their position who's 18, 19, and then by the time they're 22, they're a worldie.
In 7, I mean...
That's a long con, but we don't have time for that. It's like Sir Jim's going to run. He's probably going to lose operating control within the next 12 months, 18 months, depending on how the club does. So we've been put into a hole for 2 decades of mismanagement. INEOS came in. They made lots of blunders themselves. And I think at the end of the day, like, who's going to come home when the chickens come home to roost? Because who's going to be held left in the bag? I think United could be in a sale position once again in the next 2 years where we're selling to a sovereign because they're out of money and they're just putting stuff on their credit card. And we owe $1 billion. Who's buying this club?
Well, we should see soon whether or not the turnover... I really think the commercial deals need to be made.
They haven't.
I thought INEOS was going to come in, sponsor the stadium, and then they're, hey, this is where we get the money to kind of rebuild. Need to see more movement on the top line revenue side. They've definitely been cost cutting. So we should be reaping the benefits of a lot of those tough decisions they made this past season. Maybe they went too far with like taking 40 grand from the old retired legends. From an optics perspective, it didn't look great. But I'm decently excited for the season. I think last season was I was much less excited. I didn't really get the signings, bringing Ten Hag back and then giving him all that money. I was just very concerned. I was like, if we don't get top 4, this could blow up in our face. And so I was more wary about last year. This year, Abram's going to get a full preseason, and he's a dog. So he's going to get something out of this team. I did feel my major worry, like thinking about last summer, my major worry with Ruben Amorim is he basically kind of punted on the entire season. Basically, these players, like similar to Ten Hag, like, hey, these players can't play this way. And then INEOS is not going to give him any players. Like, I knew that was going to happen. For some reason, Amorim didn't know that was going to happen. And clearly they haven't given him enough. And so this could be like the Iberian Jose Mourinho, well, the board didn't back me, and start making excuses. I'd like to see Amorim just be like, hey, we got to be better and be more pragmatic as it relates to getting results. It's not going to be a glorious season, but I want to see better football from him. I want to see something from Manchester United, because the 38% win rate is not cutting it. And I get why fans are not that excited about this season. And I will also caveat, you don't judge a transfer window until it is over. And so we are pretty much at the end of our rope. We need bodies in. We are not selling, and I get it. But when the transfer window is over, we have to judge it in totality. And right now we're probably not giving it a high grade, but they could pull something out. We shall see. Hopefully that July 2nd deadline is important. At Sabres Car Guy 9, will anyone be sold? Seems like the same old story.
I think there'll be a couple of sales. I think they're ready to take a loss in a big way on Antony. I think we'll figure out some kind of funky deal with Batiste, where we get some really huge proponent of his sell-on clause. It'll be shit, low money. They seem to have just sold a player to Atletico, so I think they'll have a little cash to spend on Antony. I think we'll sell Sancho in a really cut rate deal where we basically we'll make no money, because they'll give us basically his wages, and that's it, and we'll foist him to somebody in Italy. I do not think we'll be able to sell Marcus Rashford. He'll probably be another loan. I think we'll be able to sell Malacia for peanuts to somebody in the Dutch league.
You're saying sell. I don't think we're selling. I think we're loaning. There's
I mean,
the only player I think we can sell is
deal.
Garnacho. The only player I think we'll realistically sell is Garnacho, and it'll be something like we'll be lucky if we get 40.
But that'd be crazy to sell him for 40 in my mind. Like, you just keep him.
The pressure increases if they can't sell Rashford. Like Rashford, most likely because of the wage component. I think the wage component of Sancho and Rashford make them completely different deals.
Yeah.
Where ultimately the better deal could be loaning and paying his wages because of the wage buy down. Also, Antony delaying a loss on selling him could be the solution from a PSR perspective. Now we're getting to accounting technicalities. And Garnacho, if you only sell Garnacho, you book the 40 million gain, and then you kind of like reduce the wages as much as possible on all the other three. That could be, to me, that is the most likely outcome. Like, that is really it.
Another loan for Rashford, another loan for Sancho, basically covering.
And another loan for Antony because of the PSR implications. And then you get the Garnacho bump. And then, because we're so close to the line here,
We are.
that we're really managing the accounting side, and nobody's offering anything for these players. So, what realistically, Rashford wants to go to Barcelona on a loan. Barcelona don't even want to buy him. He's going to collude with Barcelona to get some sort of crazy deal, and United got nothing and no leverage, and nobody wants him. Villa doesn't want him. Like, at the end of the day, like,
He doesn't want Villa.
It's looking rough out there on the sales side, and it's always been like that at Manchester United, right? They sold us some false hope with the Sancho sale to Chelsea, and that just blew up in our face. So we're just, and this is where people want to think about director of football, like Dan Ashworth. It's about buying and selling talent, and it's like he is world class at doing it. And now we got Wilcox in there. I don't know. It's just one of those things where, like, why did we get rid of Ashworth? And it's because he didn't get along at tea time with Sir Jim. Like, that kills me.
Sir Jim, man, he's a hardo, and he doesn't seem to like anybody unless they kiss his ass. And I'm sure that was some of the fallout, or do things that he thinks are unpopular. But I have to agree. They put a lot of onus on themselves. Last window, they came in late. They're backing a manager that they didn't even know they wanted to back until halfway through the fucking window. That was crazy. And now here they are. They fired the director of football right in the winter last year in December. I don't know why they didn't let him play out the rest of the year, because that was a PR disaster as well, just giving yourself one man light when you have so much work to do. You're also giving jobs to the boys. We're giving jobs to the boys once again.
I get it. But the worst part about this is, like, every year as the season's winding down, it's like, United to get rid of 10 players. And every year I'm like, no, we're not. Like, no, we're not. Last one here at Toro da Corsa. How worried are you that we'll end up with the wrong Victor? I assume he's like Victor Gyökeres or Victor Osimhen, sir. How worried?
As long as we don't end up with Victor Lindelof, I'll be happy. It's like, as long as we don't have, like, run back the Iceman, which is the most preposterous fucking nickname of all time.
Hey, he showed up last year in some games, played decently well. I definitely a dud.
Go back and dance, bro.
Definitely a dud. Definitely didn't rate him.
Shouldn't have got a new contract. He's a player that
for him
should
to
have
go
left.
out was actually like he came in and played decently well in some key moments last year to get us to a final where we just got absolutely just like to the sword by horrid Tottenham side. But look, sir, that is it.